Inuit and Labrador are the people of the sea ice. It's been their identity for generations. But climate change is transforming the big land. In Nain, the sea ice froze weeks later than normal this year. South of Nain, open water reigns. Some places covered in barely a dusting of snow. It weighs heavily on Derek Pottle. He's trapped and says he's going stir crazy.
Well, I can't get out. I just can't get out. I'm just barred here in the community. All I can do is go around and around in a circle, almost like a caged animal, 2 or 3 kilometers on a dirt road. I can't get out. I can look out of my window. I can see nature, but I can't get out there to get it because I can't access where I want to go to. And that hurts people that want to be out there when you're restricted. It's something that's taken away from us that we grew up with, and that's a part of our identity. So it do impact people.
Rudy Lamp spent her childhood summers in a fishing camp north of Nain. Lamp now leads a wooding group. They chop down trees to supply seniors with fuel. It gets people out in nature over a long winter. She sees a difference in their moods every time, when they're able to leave town.
The sea ice is the road to where we need to go. That's where our families went out to the land, and they used to go on seasonal, like in the fall. So the time out on the ice is a lot shorter than it used to be, and it's having a big impact on the mental health. And that isolation is hard enough at the time of spring and fall.
Waiting longer for the ice to freeze means more days of despair, a dangerous symptom for people along the coast, where suicide happens more frequently than elsewhere in Newfoundland and Labrador.
What we're seeing in the studies that they have done, that there's a relationship between the land and the people. So when the land and the people is disturbed, especially when ice break up, or when the ice is not forming, we're seeing more people with anxiety. We're seeing more sadness, we're seeing more grief. So the connection between the people and the land and the sea ice is really important.
Elsie Russell says 1 in 4 deaths in Nain are suicides. Less sea ice means more grief. More grief could push that number higher.
Devastation, yeah. The connection between the people and the relationship to the sea ice, it will be totally devastation, yeah. And I see it in the hearts of many people, just the thought of the sea ice not forming, or, we really need to listen and talk to government officials and to let them know that this is real, climate change is real, and we depend on that sea ice. And if it's not there, and if it doesn't form, yeah, we're going to need support.
It's an emerging and vital casualty of climate change here in Labrador. The thinning ice is sending shockwaves through every part of life in the north, a threat to traditions deeply entwined with Inuit identity. One day, the sea ice may not appear at all. It's a thought Lamp struggles to accept.
If the ice is melting more, that'll be so sad to see, our children are not seeing what we grew up with. I think we need to do the best now we can with our children to show them the ice, and while it's here. It's sad to say that, that it might not be here someday. It's not a survival, it's a way of life. And what we've always grew up with, our ancestors, our grandparents, our great-grandparents. And it's very sad to even mention that, that our children may not see it. Sorry, I'm getting emotional.
Just getting out on the land can make all the difference, but the unpredictable sea ice stands in the way. The North Coast has warmed on average 1.5 degrees per decade in the last 50 years. More data, more technology, and better trail systems are all ways to keep those deep ties to the land intact.
It's very, very, very connected to people's mental health to be connected to the land. And when you're restricted from carrying on that lifestyle, some bad habits are happening in our communities. There's no denying that. It's a breeding ground for bad habits, whether it's through addictions or boredom or whatever you put there. You have to have meaning in your life, and being connected to the land and to the sea and to nature, it's meaningful for many, many people, and that's what brings peace and happiness to people.
That peacefulness is only as thick as the sea ice. Labrador Inuit are fighting to hold on to their identity in a warming world. The danger for the coming generations that the Inuit way of life will fall through that thinning ice. Malone Mullen, CBC News, Nain.